Hello and welcome to this week's edition of CTN Community Update. A local teen is lucky to be alive, and now he's sharing his remarkable story. CTN's Jennifer Anderson met Cole Fosland, a rare teen who can say he faced a stroke and survived.
And then his face was completely drooped on one side and up on the other.
At first, Ellie Biggins thought her boyfriend was joking. Cole Fosland is only 16. Teenagers just don't have strokes.
All I remember is that I came back in and then I was smiling at her. I was only smiling with one side of my face.
Ellie called 911 and Cole's mom.
And I just kept rubbing his head and telling him, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And it was pretty much the worst day of our life.
How did this varsity football player at Coon Rapids High School and member of the track team end up here? At 16 years old, a small tear in the lining of Cole's carotid artery led to a blood clot, which traveled to his brain.
It's very rare. The last time we did a 16-year-old was about 5 years ago, so it's not a common procedure.
Doctors at Abbott Northwestern in Minneapolis quickly determined Cole was having a stroke and needed a mechanical thrombectomy.
For every 30 minutes that goes by, the chance of a good outcome is reduced by 10%.
For a select group of stroke victims like Cole, a mechanical thrombectomy can mean the difference between life and death. A wire inserted into the brain vacuums out bits of the blood clot creating the stroke. Just 41 minutes after arriving at Abbott, Cole was receiving this life-saving measure.
It's wonderful. I've been doing stroke for about 25 years, and when I first started being a stroke doc, we didn't have much. And being able to change people's lives now is huge.
Just 4 days after his stroke, Cole walked out of this hospital like any typical teenager, without a single noticeable side effect.
I feel fine now.
Cole knew he got a second chance at life the morning after surgery.
Look over at Ellie and I was able to smile with my full face, which is pretty amazing.
For CTN Update, I'm Jennifer Anderson.
The procedure that saved Cole's life was performed at Abbott Northwestern, but it recently became available at Mercy Hospital as well. 59 patients have had thrombectomies at Mercy since August of 2017. Switching gears now, a big turnout for a midterm election this week, with 74% of registered voters in Coon Rapids casting a ballot. 22% did it by absentee. All three incumbents are returning to the City Council as they didn't face any challengers. Mayor Jerry Cook received just over 20,000 votes. There were 506 write-ins. Councilmember Ward 3 Wade DEMMER got more than 3,200 votes. There were 51 write-ins. And Councilmember Ward 5 Brad Johnson received more than 3,700 votes. There were 69 write-ins. Moving to the Anoka County Board, there will be one new face next year. In District 4, Mandy Meissner won the seat with just over 11,000 votes. Sean Broom received just over 5,800 votes. In District 5, incumbent Mike GAMACHE didn't have a challenger. He received more than 15,000 votes. There were 223 write-ins. And in District 7, incumbent Scott Schulte won another term with more than 10,000 votes. Challenger Dave Nelson received more than 6,500 votes. Moving to the state legislature, in District 35B, Republican incumbent Peggy Scott retains her seat in the Minnesota House with more than 11,000 votes. DFLer Catherine Eckhart got more than 8,700 votes. In District 36A, DFLer Zach Stevenson won a close race with more than 9,700 votes. Republican Bill Marish got more than 8,800 votes. In District 36B, incumbent DFLer Melissa Hortman easily beat Republican challenger Jermaine Batzio with more than 12,500 votes. And in District 37A, DFL incumbent Aaron Kogel won with more than 9,800 votes. Republican challenger Anthony Wilder got more than 7,600 votes. Tuesday's election will result in a shift of power at the state capitol. DFLers will take control of the Minnesota House next year, and late this week it was announced that Melissa Hortman will take over as Speaker of the House. The 48-year-old was first elected to the legislature back in 2004. She became the minority leader in the House after the 2016 election. The 2019 legislative session is set to begin on January 8th. A big donation this week for a park improvement project set to begin next year.
I'm here tonight to present a check in the amount of $50,000 to the City of Coon Rapids to be used towards the purchase of new playground equipment in the Lions Coon Creek Park.
The Coon Rapids Lions Club presented the $50,000 donation at Wednesday night's City Council meeting. They also gave a second check totaling $6,000 to purchase 4 new benches for the Memorial Garden. Lions Coon Creek Park opened in 1990 and has seen steady improvements over the years, but it's slated for a major overhaul next year, the final project in the park bond approved by voters. Along with new playground equipment, proposed improvements include new picnic shelters, new trails, a sand volleyball court, and more parking. Another park in the city will also see improvements next year. On Wednesday night, the City Council approved the purchase of playground equipment for Tower View Park, which is located near the water tower off Crooked Lake Boulevard. The cost of the new playground structure is around $62,000. An additional $48,000 will be needed for installation of the equipment, along with a concrete border, shelter pad, and base pad. Recycling has gotten easier over the years, but do you know what can and can't be recycled? The Coon Rapids Recycling Center wants you to know you can still save on your trash bill by recycling, despite a changing global marketplace. CTN's Dan Carpenter reports on recent recycling changes.
For the past 5 years,
Okay.
Dana Higgins has volunteered
Okay, every little bit counts.
at the Coon Rapids Recycling Center.
I love it. That's why I do it.
During that time, she's seen a few changes.
Now the foamy wrap, we don't take.
Changes to what can and can't be accepted.
Okay, thank you.
With China closing its borders, it's kind of put some recycling, kind of tipped it upside down for a little bit.
The recycling continues,
Hey, good shot.
but there have been challenges for the waste haulers moving what is collected.
For a lot of the waste haulers, recycling is a higher cost than the landfill, and that's just due to lack of markets.
But the recycling center says don't be discouraged by what you hear in the news.
We believe that we are going to come through this stronger than what we were before before this all happened.
No longer accepted is styrofoam packaging, things like takeout containers, styrofoam egg cartons, and cups. And the types of plastic accepted are limited to those numbered 1, 2, and 5.
Right now, everybody's trying to shake out a new normal, and we're really trying to correct the situation and kind of get things balanced out.
Close to 700 people lined up to take advantage of a paper shredding event intended for those documents with sensitive information.
What we don't want to see are greeting cards, calendars, magazines, something that just has your name and address on it.
Mattress recycling was also available.
We only get that truck once a month.
Old appliances and electronics can find a new home on select dates.
Prefer not having it in landfills, and I'm afraid that what doesn't come here is going to go into landfills from this point on, and that's not probably the best way to get rid of things.
The #1 offender, plastic bags, mixed in with other items, causing problems for sorting equipment.
If you're not sure what can and cannot be recycled, an answer is quickly found with a smartphone and an app called Anoka County Recycles.
If you're still not sure, you can always ask the helpful volunteers and staff.
Our focus right now is just do it right, keep it simple, and keep it clean.
Reporting from the Coon Rapids Recycling Center, Dan Carpenter for CTN Update.
Starting mid-November, Coon Rapids residents will once again be able to recycle fluorescent light bulbs for free. The next chance to recycle mattresses, appliances, and electronics is on December 1st. The Bunker Hills Golf Club is getting a grant that could help increase recycling at the facility. On Wednesday night, the City Council accepted the nearly $6,000 grant from Anoka County. The money will be used to replace worn-out recycling, organics, and waste containers, along with a baler. More containers will be added due to the growth at the facility, along with dollies for each cart. A contract was awarded this week for the final phase of bunker renovations at the golf course. Hartman Companies Incorporated submitted the low bid of $314,000 for the project. The last phase of the project involves the west 9 holes of the championship course. The bunkers are being reduced in size and the liners eliminated, which improves the pace of play and decreases staff time spent on maintenance. The Anoka County Library System has been marking its 60th anniversary all year long, and the celebration will culminate with a special event next week. The event takes place Friday, November 16th from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Northtown Library. The celebration includes opportunities for people to share their library stories in a recording booth, solve puzzles in a special escape room, and win various types of swag. There will also be free cake. During the past 60 years, the Anoka County Library has gone from a small organization with only a few libraries to a bustling system with 8 branches and 2 different affiliate libraries. That's going to bring us to the end of today's show. Thanks for watching. Try to stay warm, and we'll see you back here again next week.